Now you're running for Common Pleas Judge, right? For those who are watching and not familiar with that particular ecosystem, can you explain what that position or Common Pleas Judge does? And that's the first question. And then what makes you different, or what do you believe makes you different from any other judge within that seat?
So the Common Pleas Court does comprise of the four different courthouses, and so there are obviously different things going on at each one. So you have judges with the ability to separate families, to remove children, to terminate parental rights, to free children for adoption. You have the criminal justice system where you're processing the higher crimes and the felonies, and you're getting those murder cases and things like that. You're monitoring people's parole and probation. You have the civil court where I believe actions up over $12,000, where there's a contract dispute, things like that. And then you have the orphans court, and I kind of talked about the end of life documents where people bring in their wills for contests and trying to, working out the executor of the state. So you have all of these different things hitting all of these major areas of people's lives.
Mhm.
And so I think oftentimes, I know Philadelphia historically does not show up for these kind of elections. People don't know the importance of it.
That's right.
But judges make very powerful decisions. They make decisions that impact
Mhm.
lives for a lifetime, not only affecting the individual, but their family units, the economy, their job prospects. And so I want people to know how important it is for you to look at who's running for these positions, for you to not just look at their resume and what they've done to be qualified for this, but who are they? What is their character like? Are they integral? Will they suffer from the black road syndrome when they put that thing on and they start
Yeah,
becoming nice,
yeah,
nasty,
yeah,
and
yeah.
abusive of their power? You got to watch for those things
I
when
like
you're
that.
when
Nice, nasty. That's
I was
dope.
just gonna say that.
you got to look for that when people are out giving their speeches or because who you are is going to show, even if it
Mhm.
seeps out a little bit. And so I tell people I have to vote too, right?
Right.
And so I have to know who these people are too. I have to know what kind of person I think they'll be from this point. And so I'm looking for your character.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the
Mhm.
things you're mumbling under your breath. I'm looking if you speak to people in the room and if you address everybody and if you're kind. I look for that. And I think people should look for that too.
We are a part of Every Voice, Every Vote, right? An initiative, right? And one of the common things that we hear from the people is my vote don't count, right? Now, you're up here running to ask for people's vote. When you hear that, my vote doesn't count, or why should I vote, and kind of some of the similar things that you have been saying as it relates to what you hear from the people, what does that make you feel, and what then do you talk about people's civic duty when it comes to voting?
So I'm no stranger to that kind of language, that kind of talk. That's actually kind of how I grew up.
Yeah.
And so they're not wrong. It's no secret that politics are corrupt. It's no secret that some sketchy things happen when it's time to count those votes or mail them in. There is validity there. So I always like to start where you're not crazy.
I like that.
this
Mhm.
Good job.
this is happening,
Yeah.
etc. But again, we can go ahead and put our tails between our legs and hide in a corner, or we can try. Life is about taking chances and making choices and doing something, because at the end of the day, when you look back on it, did you do anything? Did you try? And if the answer is no, then you didn't do something right,
Mm.
right? So exercise that vote. Get involved and active. I tell people all the time, y'all talking about the politicians, well, when are you going to step up to become one? If you don't like what's going on, then get in a fight and be the different person, be the change that you want to see, which is essentially what I'm doing. I was raised from that construct that we don't do that because it's dirty, and we don't need to vote because we don't believe. I understand that. That was my life. I lived it. But again, I'm here because I see what the problem is. And I'm not a politician. I don't come from politics. I don't necessarily like politicians because of all the things that they are attached to. You don't know who's being straight with you. You don't know who's wicked. You don't know who's doing backdoor deals. You don't know who owes somebody money or owes somebody a favor. And all that stuff is happening,
Mhm.
and which is why I stayed away from it. But I am not one of them. I'm a regular human being who is trying to live with integrity, who is trying to do things with clean hands and a pure heart. I can't be bought. I can't be
Mhm.
sold. And I don't care if I'm the only person standing on an island saying right is right and wrong is wrong. I will do that, and I will do that well.
Awesome.